Yeah, would have preferred to win.
What was the difference in the end, in your opinion?
Probably just the ability to finish the last kick inside 50. We clearly were on top in a lot of areas in the game, but we weren't able to capitalise on our opportunities well enough. And probably the other thing, we coughed up 3 just sitter gimme goals. One from a deliberate out of bounds free kick, and some goal square goals which just should never happen. And in a 9-point game, that was decisive. But I thought our guys the effort was fantastic. I feel really disappointed for the players because they just didn't get the reward for their effort.
10 goals, 6 to 8 in the end. How much was set shot kicking and kicking a goal in general, the difference out there?
We hit the post 3 times, so they didn't miss by much.
Scott Thompson was off for a while there.
Yeah, he was off for 95% of the game. Yeah, so I don't know. He wasn't. He was able to jog, but he just wasn't anywhere near good enough to be able to function at the level required. So I don't know whether it's the same injury that kept him out last week or it's something new. Haven't had an update on that yet.
You managed to fight back twice, I think, 3-4 goals down, but just that finishing that couldn't quite get the nose in front of them.
Yeah, and things change a bit, I think, when if you can get your nose in front and then kick the next one, and they managed to keep us at bay. And they're a good team at absorbing pressure. They were a bit cleaner than us around the contest at times, and not too many teams can absorb 63 inside 50s as well as they did today. And quite a bit of that is to do with the way that we distributed the ball inside 50, but a lot of it is to do with their really good defence. So we knew that we'd have to be really on our game there to get value for our entries. But to generate 63 was really encouraging, and I thought against the team that I think, if they're not the best in the competition, they're very close to it at the moment. It should give our boys confidence that when we play somewhere close to our best, that we're capable. The 22 who represented the club today are capable of competing with the best. Today proved that. Yeah, he was fantastic. He was he led from the front. He played with really high energy and really dominated parts of the game. So he's just a great competitor. He just tries to will the team over the line every time he plays. But he wasn't alone today. There were other guys who performed well too, and that's just really disappointing because, as I said, it could have been a really terrific win based on the effort that we put in. No, we're not going to even address that until we sit down and talk with all the parties involved, including Boomer. But there'll be a myriad of factors that will go into that decision.
You had Ben Brown up against Dane Rampy for most of the day. Were you disappointed you weren't able to exploit that size advantage?
Yeah, I think people who think that have fallen for that for a long time. Dane Rampy's a very, very good player, So you look at probably the mismatch in height, and you think you get an advantage. But we certainly weren't trying to exploit that. I mean, Brownie still kicked his couple of goals and was okay, but Sydney support their defence really well too. And Grundy and Rampy in particular have been really good players for a long time. So if they were easily exploitable, people would have done it by now.
How closely will you keep an eye on the Melbourne game tomorrow?
Won't concern me at all. I mean, our focus is on winning next week. I mean, I understand the external interest, but it's a loser's attitude, Gee, I hope we fall into the 8. I mean, we really want to focus on trying to compete with the best. We haven't finished in the top 4 the last couple of years at the home and away season, but we have by the end of the final series. And it's still our focus to be playing really good footy to compete. Now, I don't really care what anyone else does. What I want to do is get the team into a really good frame of mind so that we're playing really good footy, and we win next week, then we launch an assault on the final series. So that's where our focus is.
Has it been frustrating at all that I guess you haven't been able to do that now? You would love to have sewn that up and put everything else to bed today.
it doesn't really matter, does it? Like, if we'd sewn it up and put it to bed, like, our focus is still the same, playing our best footy. So everyone else is looking over our shoulder, I understand that, but we're not.
It's 3 of your last 11 now. What's gone wrong?
Probably a few things. I've lost count of the number of times we started a game with 22 players and haven't finished with them. We played some really good teams. But I mean, all of those things, I mean, we've won 12 games for the season. So I'm sure that, we would like to have won more by this point. And we put ourselves in winning positions against really good teams as well. Today's another example, just weren't able to quite get the job done. So that still suggests that the golfing class is relatively significant, and we've got to try and bridge that, and that's what coaches are for, and that's what we're working extremely hard on bridging.
Any of your injured players a chance next week?
I couldn't say yet. Couldn't say. There's 6 or 7 of them that are making their comeback last week, this week, maybe next week. But there's no certainty with any of them at this stage.
And will their lack of match practice, the amount of time they play leading into next week, be a factor as well?
Yeah, it will. It'll make it very difficult to play 7 of them, that's for sure. They've all been on different programs. We'll have to assess everything they've done and make an educated decision once they've played another game and trained during the week.
How do you rate Sydney's midfield and Henry Parker, Kennedy, if not the best, obviously?
Yeah, I think it's probably that you look at the best teams in the competition at the moment. They've got some of the best midfielders in the competition, and Sydney's are up there with anyone's. I mean, they really started the game really well in there. Our guys really responded well. Kennedy's been a great player for a long time. Parker's really, emerged from being a really good young talent to just a genuinely good player. Hanbury and Mitchell, they were pretty dominant today. But the encouraging thing for us is, we won contested possession, we won clearances, we had a lot more inside 50s against a really good midfield. So, there's a lot of hope there for our guys.
You did everything but win today?
It feels a bit like that, when you win every important category. But I think there are a couple of things that stand out. We coughed up a couple of easy goals, deliberate out of bounds. They took their chances. They were a bit cleaner around the contest than we were, and that gave them an opportunity as well. And our defence held up really well. I mean, Robbie Tarrant, what do you say? He just continues to dominate whoever he plays on. There are some defenders who have had good seasons and they play as third defenders or they play as spare defenders. Robbie Tarrant plays on the best opposition forward every week and beats them every week. So if he's not All-Australian, I don't know who'd be in front of him. Thanks.